Potty, Bog, Crapper, the John, Thunder Mug, Fudge Pot, the National Trust, the Underwater Log Cabin. So many nicknames for the humble toilet. It's frequently the butt of jokes, the most abused household fixture with quite literally the crappiest job. What goes into the toilet is scary, especially when it's after a night out on the town where you ate a double order of nachos with refried beans and extra jalapenos. But sometimes nightmares lurk deep within the pipes under the toilet and emerge to terrify us. Here are some scary things that have come out of the toilet. On January 8, 2015, Stephanie Laxa was in the second-floor bathroom at work when she noticed the water in the toilet was unusually high. As her PR firm's office was in the old San Diego City Hall, which was built in 1886, she was used to occasionally dealing with stubborn antique pipes. However, she was not prepared for what was about to happen. Stephanie started using the plunger. As the water drained, a snake reared its head from the toilet, flicking its tongue. Stephanie ran screaming out of the bathroom and taped the door shut. She called the Department of Animal Services. When they arrived, they found a 5.5-foot Colombian rainbow boa coiled on the floor behind the toilet. The agitated snake managed to bite one of the handlers while they were removing it from the office. It was taken to an exotic animal quarantine and examined by a veterinarian. The boa was pronounced healthy, though it was a little underweight. It was also shedding. They thought it might have been in the pipes for a few days. Later, Stephanie found out from her landlord that another tenant in the building had lost their snake. Stephanie's not the only one who's dealt with something slithering out of her toilet. It's a recurring, horrifying issue that gets even worse. An Israeli man was visiting his parents in the Galilee town of Nufit when he had to use the bathroom. Soon after he sat down, he felt a sharp, burning sensation on his genitals. He leaped up only to see a snake in the toilet. A snake that had bitten his, snake. He was rushed to the Rambam Medical Center in Haifa. Thankfully, the snake wasn't venomous, but it still left a nasty bruise and probably a psychological scar. He's not the only victim to have suffered such a stressful serpentine shock. Men in Taiwan and Thailand have also suffered snake bites to their dangly bits. A lady in Queensland, Australia made a late-night trip to the loo without turning on the lights and was bitten on the bum. In fact, several people on the internet have had their nether regions nibbled on by a snake when they sat on the throne. Even more people have been lucky enough to discover the snake in the toilet before they got down to business. Of course, they've shared the nightmare-inducing pics online. So, how do snakes get into toilets? Well, snakes eat rats. They chase rats into sewers and end up going exploring. Sometimes they get in via a leak in a septic tank or crawl into the vent stack on a roof, which usually has a direct connection to the waste line in a house. The pipes under toilets have minimal water in them when not in use. Snakes like tight, dark spaces, so it's no trouble for them to navigate through a building's sewer system. Sometimes they just happen to find their way up through pipes into some unlucky person's porcelain throne. Snakes also enter dwellings through other means, such as a pet door, and the toilet makes a convenient hiding spot. Snakes aren't the only reptile that's been found in a toilet. In June of 2015, the Lindquist family of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, was having trouble flushing their toilet. After failing to improve the situation with the plunger, they called Roto-Rooter for professional help. Plumber Alyssa Scott used an auger to investigate the blockage. Suddenly, Lily Lindquist heard a blood-curdling scream coming from the bathroom. Alyssa had pulled up a 1.5-foot iguana from the toilet. The plumber actually had to have the family help her remove it. Later, she said it was the first time in 12 years of being a plumber that she had fished an iguana out of the toilet. Disturbingly, a plethora of other animals have been found in toilets or crawling out of toilets, such as squirrels, rats, bats, birds, frogs, crickets, scorpions, possums, and spiders. In some cases, the toilet owner has stayed cool and managed to capture the unwanted new bathroom friend with the aid of plungers, augers, hangers, or barbecue tongs. Then, they've either put an end to the tiny beast's adventurous life or released them back into the wild. Other times, the unwanted visitor has caused an expensive plumber's visit. Often finding a dead animal is worse than finding a live one. Dead animals may clog the pipes under the toilet, causing terrible smells and requisite extensive plumbing work to remove a rotting, waterlogged corpse. Animals aren't the only ones who've gotten stuck in toilets. May 2013, Claremont, Cape Town, South Africa, passers-by heard yelling from the portable toilet at a construction site. When they went to investigate upon opening the bathroom door, they were greeted with an amazing yet disgusting sight. An unnamed man was stuck in the toilet. He was folded, his butt, lower trunk, and thighs firmly wedged. Basically, all that could be seen sticking out of the bowl was his lower legs, arms, and head. It took about 40 minutes for security, police, and some good Samaritans to rescue the man. Other people stood around with their phones documenting the odd situation for posterity. Eventually, the man was released unharmed, albeit with nasty clothes. There was no explanation for how the man got himself stuck deeply in the toilet. The space of the bowl was a regular size. Some onlookers thought the man seemed high, allegedly his eyes were red, and he seemed a little off. We bet the guy was super disgusted when he sobered up and realized what had happened. While that case of a human in a toilet was more gross than scary, this one is definitely creepy. Also in 2013 at Whitewater Park near Tulsa, Oklahoma, a mother and young daughter went into the women's public restroom only to discover a face peering up at them from the depths of the toilet. The park's facilities utilized a septic tank under a cement slab on which the bathroom rested. Plastic toilet seats were built over the holes into the septic service. 52-year-old Kenneth Webster Enlow was caught crouched in the septic tank, soaking in the sewage. Keystone Fire and Rescue helped Enslow climb out of the toilet and hosed him off with a fire hose before he was arrested by local sheriff's deputies. Enslow spouted a wild story, saying that his girlfriend named Angel had attacked him, hitting him in the head with a tire iron, knocking him unconscious and dumping him into the toilet before driving off. He had just woken up when the lady and her daughter came in to use the bathroom. Enslow was taken to the Tulsa County Jail, where he was booked on a peeping Tom complaint. To the surprise of no one, no hide or hair of Angel was ever found. The only injuries Enslow had were a few minor scratches consistent with scraping himself on the cement slab under the bathroom. What could be lurking in your toilet can definitely make it hard to drop the kids off at the pool. Unfortunately, sometimes the non-poop items humans purposely put in the toilet are even more terrifying. On Sunday, May 31, 2009, Kish Air flight departed from Hafez, Iran, bound for the Iranian capital of Tehran with 131 passengers aboard. Soon after takeoff, flight security guards found a homemade bomb in the bathroom on the toilet bowl. The plane immediately returned to Hafez, where the bomb was carefully removed and defused. Surprisingly, the flight immediately resumed after the bomb was removed. That's not the only flight that someone has tried to blow up with a bomb in the toilet. In December of 2015, a plane carrying 459 passengers was traveling from Mauritius to Paris when it suddenly had to divert to Mombasa, Kenya, about 3.5 hours into the flight. A passenger had found a suspicious device in the toilet. The passengers were safely disembarked and were interviewed while the device was removed and detonated. Bombs have also been found in the toilet of a pub in the UK and the toilet of a train in Uttar Pradesh, India. In both cases, thankfully the device was found before it exploded and removed by authorities with no one injured. Another surprising explosive was found in the toilet system in 2005. The toilet in a home of Vicksburg, Mississippi kept experiencing problems. Unable to find a source of the blockage, a Roto-Rooter crew excavated the residential sewer main. They discovered a live Civil War cannon shell. For safety, an Army Ordnance Disposal team had to remove the bomb. It's believed the shell was left over from General Ulysses S. Grant's 1863 siege of Vicksburg. People accidentally drop items in the toilet all the time. Commonly, glasses, mobile phones, and false teeth end up in the toilet, and the owner has some squeamish moments trying to get said item out. Most of the time, the item simply falls into the bowl and is easily retrievable. In 2015 in Poland, at the archaeological site of a former school for swordsmanship, researchers found something unexpected that some poor soul once dropped down the privy and wasn't able to or didn't bother to retrieve: a dildo. The 150-plus-year-old sex toy was very recognizable and well preserved by the waste material it was dug out of. The antique adult product was made of leather, filled with bristles, and had a wooden tip. Once upon a time, someone's romantic evening was probably quite spoiled. Jewelry is also frequently accidentally sacrificed to the Great White God. Sometimes the bill to retrieve the item is quite scary. In 2009, at the Black Bear Diner in Phoenix, Arizona, a lady inadvertently dropped and flushed her $70,000 diamond ring down the toilet. Several hours later, after city workers were unable to find the ring, Mike Roberts of Mr. Rooter was called. Using a fiber optic cable, Roberts was able to locate the ring, which was stuck 300 feet down the sewer line. After excavating the pipe, Roberts was able to recover the ring. The grateful owner paid Mr. Rooter $5,000 for the plumbing bill and a large unspecified amount to the restaurant to cover the cost of repairing their torn-up floor. Sometimes, items are purposefully sent down the toilet in an effort to conceal nefarious deeds. When a raid is pending, many law enforcement officers try to gain access to the building beforehand and turn off the water supply to the toilet. This tactic can work for a restaurant or office building, but may seem suspicious for a residential dwelling. Often authorities will carry wrenches with them during busts, so they can check the trap, the curving channel inside the base of a toilet that leads from the hole at the bottom of the bowl to the drain pipe. Sometimes items sent down the toilet will get stuck here. The process of authorities attempting to find evidence for drug mule cases used to be much more scary for agents at JFK and several other airports. However, with the advent of drug toilets in 2011, shifts became much more enjoyable. Basically, drug toilets separate suspicious packages from poop. Passengers suspected of being drug mules are detained and put in a waiting room that only has the drug toilet available. Sooner or later, the passengers have to relieve themselves. The waste material is captured from the toilet bowl and sent into a hermetically sealed agitation unit with a viewing panel. The water and detergent spray into the agitation area, washing away all the fecal matter. Officers then retrieve the drugs as evidence to assist in making their cases. The high-tech drug toilet system is far more pleasant than the older method. Scary and unusual things both go in and come out of the toilet. As a general rule of thumb, we suggest keeping the toilet seat down, never going to the bathroom in the dark, and maybe taking a quick peek at the bowl before making a deposit at the bank. These simple steps might save you from a nightmarish toilet experience of your own. Has something weird or scary ever come out of your toilet? Let us know in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other video, Strangest Ways People Died. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.